It was 1974. I was still working as a forklift driver. I hadn't got my job in sales, and I had told my parents. I said, you know, I'm going to break it to you, Dad. I know this is going to hurt like heck, but I got to move out. Time for, you know, eagles have to spread their wings and all that kind of stuff. And my dad laughed. He said, well, this is when we lived in Vancouver, British Columbia, that area. And he said, well, your mom and I were wondering what we're going to do with you because we're moving to New Brunswick and then later on to Nova Scotia. And so we didn't know what we were going to do with you because you're right at that age where we didn't know whether you should come or want to come or whatever. I said, I'm moving out. So at 17 and then 18, I think it was actually, but just after my 18th birthday, I actually moved out. And so anyway, they're on the east coast of Canada. I'm on the west coast. It's a big country. We're a long way away from each other. And my dad calls me one time. He says, hey, son, Michelin Tire, they're opening a huge thing at the port of Halifax, big port on the eastern seaboard of Canada, like a major port, and they're doing a whole big facility there. They're hiring hundreds of people. Maybe you'd like to come out here and get a job. So I thought about it and I said, why not? And I flew out to Toronto. I mean, I went out to Halifax via Toronto, but I got out to Halifax and I applied for a job, just like, what, I don't know what you're hiring for, but you're hiring lots of people, so I'm applying. And the guy said to me, he's asking me questions. I had to fill out an application and a test and different things. And he started looking at me at the way I was answering questions. And out of the blue, he changed the questions and he said, what's 15 squared? I said, 225. What's 25 squared? I said, 6 1/4. He stopped the interview. He said, you're applying for the wrong position. You don't need to be working in the warehouse or the factory, whatever it was they were doing there. We'd love to have you in a role when the ships come in. It's very mathematically oriented and you have to have, you know, certain skills. You've got those skills. But in Canada, you had to be 19 years old to have that position. So will you consider coming back here when you're 19? I said, sure. On my 19th birthday, they called me from the East Coast to the West Coast and said, hey, it's your birthday. You want to come out here? Well, as it turned out, I didn't. But I learned something that day, that there's something about excellence and about, there was something that I had that I didn't realize people want. I had a gift with numbers, number one, and people could pick up on that. And I'm going to say something. God was directing my steps even when I didn't know it. And that job, who knows where that would have led, but I stayed out west, and my life took an incredibly different direction, for which I'm very grateful. But I thought I'd share that little story with you, because that was just, 18 when I applied for that job. And because I knew the answer to 15 squared and 25 squared, kind of easy, that bode well for me. Anyway, a little story. I got a lot of little anecdotal stories I'm going to share with you from time to time. That one's just for the fun of it. God bless you.